What you know about me? Seen it all, heard it all. Oh, what you know about me? I done it all, just want it all. Oh, what you know about me? I seen it all, heard it all. Oh, what you know about me? Oh, what you know about me? Oh, what you know about me?
Y'all, welcome back, y'all. You already know what it is, man. It's episode 160 of More Than the Title. I'm your host, as usual, Jarrett, Chief Revenue Officer at Outside the Box Digital. And you know I got my brother, my brethren, your favorite CEO, Chadeo. What is good?
All I can say is, Lord,
damn,
Lord. Buckle up.
Seatbelts ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, please.
In a world.
Should I throw in the dog Vader voice? Should I throw in the dog Vader?
Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts. Make sure your tray tables are stored in the upright position. Please make sure you're not leaning back, because at this moment, we might be in for a crash course.
This moment, you done fucked up.
We are about to hit turbulence.
The Twilight Zone. Yo, it's crazy, man. We're going to be serious, man. But we got to laugh to keep them, it's going to be a lot of shit that we're going to discuss today, man. First of all, as you guys already know, let's start off how we usually start off. Then we're going to get right to the shits. But we're going to allow y'all guys, because we know a lot of people feel a lot of different ways. I know a lot of different Trump supporters. I know a lot of people that supported Kamala. And we just want to hear from y'all, man. We're going to give y'all our take, what we think about it. We typically stay away from religion and politics, but this is so monumental that we just have to really talk about how it's going to affect us as a culture, man. That's what we really do this shit for. You know what it is.
Yeah, we already getting comments. Shout out to Al, man. Al Karim. He's in Instagram. He said, what's up, Al? He said, we live in the upside down.
That's what it is, man.
Al starting his shit already. He said, we live in the upside down. I don't know, man. Well, listen, let's start the show the way we always start the show, G&T, ladies and gentlemen, because guess what? Regardless of what happened with the election, regardless of who you voted for, if you're hearing our voices and you're able to see us visually, you woke up today. You woke up today, right? And you were given another chance to battle and persevere through anything that's put in front of you. So G&T, right? The grateful part for waking up and being able to have another day on this earth, man, and tell your loved ones you love them and just spend time with your family and things of that nature and just experience new experiences, right? And thankful for everybody like Al Karim, man, and all the supporters of the show that jump on and give us our comments, man, and share their stories. We had a guy really quickly on our last episode Monday when we parted or whatever the case may be, that came on and said, yo, man, I just started my business and listening to you guys gave me the strength and the energy that I needed to persevere through that business, man, and step out. You know what I mean? So that's what we're talking about, man. That's major, man. That's thankfulness, man. Thank you guys for being transparent. Thank you guys for letting us know that our message and what we're doing is getting through to you. We appreciate y'all, man. We can't be us without y'all. Remember that.
That's a big fact, man. That's a big fact. Also, shout out to our distribution partners, the Live Podcast Network, biggest Black-owned podcast network in the world. If you want more great content, like More Than the Title, make sure y'all go to our Live Podcast Network, support the app, man. They're doing amazing things, and 2025 is going to get crazy. I was going to put it up, but I'm kind of ready to get to the shits. I'm ready to get to the shits, man. So, First initial thoughts, man. Once again, if you do want to be, before we begin, if you guys do want to be involved with the show, just let us know. Hit us up on the Instagram, the YouTube, whatever you're following us on right now. Let us know. We'll put the link in the comments so you guys can come and join and, and share your takes, man. But right off the bat,
so you get into the shit?
Woo, we gonna get the shit now.
The shits, man. It's a lot of shit to discuss, man. It's a lot of different angles and a lot of different ways that we could attack this, right? Or approach this conversation, right? First and foremost, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I know for me personally, I have no political affiliation. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat. And this was one for the ages. You know what I mean? And for me personally, what I care about is our community, man. And I don't like the pandering. I don't like a lot of shit that's been happening on both sides of the aisle, because really what I want to see is to get the resources that we need to be successful, and it never trickles down to us. You know what I mean? So I commend Kamala for her efforts, but I think the Democrat Party really fucked this one up. And I'm just gonna call a spade, man. I think the fact that they wasn't grooming anybody, the fact that she wasn't more present, the fact that the social media campaign, the that they've been doing, the celebrities, all that shit kind of backfired, man. And one thing that the American people said yesterday by their votes is that you cannot buy the minds and hearts of the people, man. People are fucked up out here. People are fucked up out here, man. People are struggling, man. Life is lifing like it never has for some people in this generation, man. You can't buy a fucking pack of hot dogs right now. $7-8 for eggs, man. People are starving. They don't have the opportunities they used to do. People want to provide for their family. People want to know their kids are safe. And that's what the American people said yesterday, man. So I definitely want to just say, man, shout out to her for everything she did, man. But I think they dropped the ball by not grooming somebody, forcing her upon us like that. And I just wish she was more involved with the community. And for all the black people watching right now, before I let Cuzzo speak, we put $2 to $3 billion of dollars into her campaign in a 100-day span. $2 to $3 billion, y'all. And all I want to do is just say for our people, man, imagine if we were to put that $2-3 billion into a fund that actually helps the community instead of putting it in the hands of somebody else and somebody's campaign. And that money was funneled into the celebrities, to commercials, and all these things that didn't trickle back to the people. So I just want us to think about that. That $2-3 billion could have helped hundreds of black businesses. It could have created new parks in our community. It could have built some of these community centers that we're talking about, right? Nobody's going to come save us, whether it's Trump, whether it's Kamala, whether it's anybody, y'all. Nobody's going to save us but us. So like I said on Instagram yesterday, stack up, stock up, make sure your people are right, take care of your family, and love the ones that love you, man. That's all we can do, man. We got to be together. That's a fact.
I don't really have nothing else to say. I mean, what you said is how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, all I'm gonna do is repeat what you said, man, because I'm with you 110%. I think yesterday was a wake-up call. You understand? Unfortunately, motherfuckers ain't gonna get woken up. But yesterday was a wake-up call because that race wasn't even close. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it really wasn't even close. You understand what I'm saying? If you look at the numbers and look at the states and look at how the numbers were just coming in, man, it wasn't even fucking close, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. So, you know, it is, and the funny thing about this, is we have no one to blame but ourselves for this. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we have no one to blame but ourselves for this, because at the end of the day, we are not putting ourselves in a position to demand more. And the word is demand. And we keep talking about this shit. We keep allowing them to come and hit us with this dog and pony show bullshit. And we keep falling for the fucking carrot on the stick, the carrot on the stick, the carrot on the stick. You understand what I'm saying? You know, I'm not being funny, but you know, just look at the message that the world sent to itself. We would rather have a president back in office, because he was already in office. So back in office that was not only impeached once, but he's the first president in fucking history, in the history of presidency, to be impeached twice.
Yep. And the first president since Grover Cleveland to have a non-consecutive term, y'all.
You understand? Like, you know, so we rather have a president that was impeached twice, that was convicted, I don't know, 34 felonies.
Come on.
Where his whole cabinet, his top aides, his personal lawyers, how many of them got convicted of federal crimes, not even state crimes, federal crimes of just cheating and lying and stealing and misleading and inappropriation of funds and all of this shit, like all of this shit, blatant racism. It's just overwhelming. And they said we still would rather put his ass back in office than allow Kamala, regardless of her race. No. They were just saying person for person, fuck the lesser of two evils. They were showing you like he's still, even with all the shit that he's done negatively, he's still the better candidate in the world's mind and in the United States mind than Kamala. That's a hell of a statement. That's a hell of a statement.
That's a fact.
And it wasn't even close. To me, it wasn't really close. It like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Obama joint and those races was close. Them shits was neck and neck, and they came down to the wire. Yeah, even the Biden joint came down to the wire. This was called early.
Super early. They were celebrating around 10, 11. They knew it.
It was called early. You understand? And I'm not gonna sit here and be like, you know, see, the funny shit about it is if Trump would have lost, it would have been a bunch of bullshit about election rigging again, and you know, the votes not fucking counting. And I guarantee you, he ain't gonna talk none of that bullshit. Now, like, it's a lot of bullshit involved with this. You understand what I'm saying? But I think, and I'm not being funny, but I'm just gonna say what it is, man. I think the United States finally, in one masterful, swift statement, showed us the true meaning of white privilege and what that means in America and how that carries over. Message. How they just don't give a fuck. I think that was just the best way to describe that, because no motherfucking person other than a white man, not even a white woman, a white man would have been able to get away with even a quarter of the shit that he's gotten away with and been put back in order.
And that's my problem, right? So once again, I'm all about equality, right? So if somebody can, first of all, I've said it on LinkedIn, with many people have said it as well. How can you be a convicted felon and run the country, and we can't even vote as a convicted felon?
Shit is crazy.
We can't even get certain jobs as a convicted felon. Some of the things that he said and some of the rhetoric on his campaign trail, like, yo, Puerto Rico is garbage. I was telling my mans on 2K, I'm like, yo, imagine you going to your job right now and saying Puerto Rico is garbage in front of HR. What you think they're gonna do to your ass?
It canned
immediately. So shit like that, I really hate. And Van Jones put it masterfully when he said it, like, yo, he could be lawless and she has to be flawless. And even when you are flawless, it just shows you what the black plight is, man. We can do all the right things, say the right things, and you know, and we still have to fight for it. And we're gonna have to keep fighting for it. But like I said, it's things that could have been done better on that campaign. I just wish in her 3.5 years as Madam Vice President, I wish I would have seen her more active. Instead of I just, me personally, and I would love to see a black woman in office. I would love to be here to see that. But I hate the fact that you only came out when you needed us. People see that shit. People see and notice that shit. You are not speaking. You're not on the shays. You're not in the community. You're not doing things that are speaking directly to us. We're sending billions of dollars outside of foreign countries that are fighting wars when people can't afford a pack of hot dogs here in the city. When immigrants are coming here and getting more resources than some of the people that are here. Like, we hear the stories. We in the streets. We boots on the ground. You see this every week that we out here. We listen to the people, man, and people are fucked up right now. So for that, we wanted to hear a little more. People wanted to hear more. And you still got 78% of the black male vote and 92% of the black woman vote. Still got that. And it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough, man. It's just hard, man. I would have loved to see her win, but
again,
I don't know.
Here's the thing, man. And here's the thing, man. You know, it's a lot deeper. It's a lot deeper than just the regular bullshit, because right off the bat, nobody voted her in. We didn't nominate her anyway. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nobody voted her in. Nobody picked her to be the Democrat front runner. You understand what I'm saying? And again, like, that's a message, you know, for everybody that's a Democrat, for the whole Democratic National Party, you know, especially the heads of state that are controlling this thing. This is an absolute fucking disgrace. Like, be clear. Like, we're not going to candy coat this shit. This is the biggest slap in the face that you guys have ever had in your fucking history of being an organization. You understand? The way you guys handled this shit was complete fucking utter garbage. You understand? And you sent the fucking message for all the people that are out there that actually do the work, that actually are boots on the ground, smart, intellectual people that came up, that are fucking Cory Bookers. And there's so many different people that could have fucking ran and had a better chance. And this is the person that you put in position. So the question really is this shit all a fucking another magic trick? Did you put her in position because you knew she couldn't win anyway? And is this the powers that be that wanted Trump back in office and they did what they had to do? Because we all know the presidency is a fucking puppet show anyway. So let's talk about it. Like, yeah, you the president, but you don't run the fucking country anyway. You know what I'm saying? The big heads of state run the country. The money runs the country. These fucking financial families run the countries. Motherfuckers that motherfuckers that own BlackRock, you know, they run the fucking country. So come on, let's talk about it. So it was just a huge slap in the face to say that she was the best representation that the Democratic Party had to offer. And you know what I'm saying? Look, and see, we got Instagrammers already talking about it right now. Rashida just said has absolutely who they wanted. You see?
But take it there. Let's say she was the most qualified person.
She wasn't.
No, I agree.
She wasn't.
Let's just say, for argument's sake, that she was, right? Because she was in 3 branches of government. That's something a lot of people do.
What? That doesn't mean nothing, bro.
Let's just say she was. Did they put her in the best position to succeed? That's what I was saying with the 3.5 years. Like, we haven't seen you. We haven't seen policy. We haven't seen you do anything.
Let me say this to you. Sleepy Joe should have never been president. You know what I'm saying?
He only got there because of her.
That's what I'm trying to say to you. So, you know what I'm saying? Perfect example, like y'all blackballed fucking Bernie, man. Bernie beats both. Bernie beats both of them hands down. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? I understand. Yeah, she was in different. She was in the legislative branch, stuff like she was in the executive branch by being vice president. Yes, she was there. This is what I tell people all the time. When I was on a job, I used to argue with a lot of old school construction guys. Yo, I've been doing this 20 years. I've been doing this 25 years. And you know what I say to them? That doesn't mean you're doing it right.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you're doing it right. And that doesn't even mean that you're doing something good. That means you have just survived. I don't care. Like, that's the answer. Anybody could get a fucking job and just not get fired, technically, right? If you just kind of do the bare fucking minimum and you just stick around forever. You understand what I'm saying? That doesn't make you qualify because you've been in an organization for a certain amount of time. You understand what I'm saying? It just means that your ass just didn't get canned and you just stayed around and did what you did. You know what I'm saying? Rashida said if she was a man, she would have won. You know what, Rashida? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know.
I think the way they branded this, the way they put it out there, it's just, I think people, especially in our communities, we wanted to see it do it, but we also don't like the pandering either. We don't like when you just come to us when you need something. We don't like that shit when you just come to us when you need something. It's something that really told me a lot, right? Because
visibility was zero as a vice president.
Was zero. But something that said a lot though is after around 10, 11 o'clock, there's thousands of people, young people, right? Young black women, young black men in Howard University sitting out there supporting you, waiting for you. They're dancing, they're stepping, they're showing pride, right? As soon as it looked like the campaign was taking the negative, the nosedive, and you weren't going to win, you decided to have not yourself, but your campaign representative come out and speak to the crowd and say she's not going to speak today.
Right.
But had you won, your ass would have been parading and doing the electric slide.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't like stuff like that because what does that tell a young black woman, the young black king that's out there waiting for you? What message are we sending? I only need you when I need you.
That's it. That's it.
It was a lot about her character, man.
It was the dog and pony show. You know what I'm saying? So Rashida's also said, she said when it was him versus Sleepy Joe, more people voted for Sleepy Joe. That's an absolute fact. You understand what I'm saying? And Rashida, I'm gonna say this to you. It's not only the fact that she was a black woman, or you want to use the black thing, and we can go into that also about her lineage of actually where the blackness comes from, because blackness is different. I just want to be clear for anybody listening. Let's be clear about this black shit. So if we never said it before, let's be clear about it. You can be black genetically if you have a certain percentage of black within your genetic code. Yes. Being black and not being raised in the black culture and understanding what the true black communities go through from day to day is completely different than you being black and you being raised somewhere else by wealthy parents and wealthy grandparents. I'm not being funny. Like even Barack Obama, like everybody love Barack. Barack ain't our black. He's not our black. He didn't go through the struggle that we went through as a black person. So it's a big fucking difference with when people are connecting to you and you're using the black card in the time of, oh, I need the vote, so now let me be black because I need the black vote, versus I'm black and I'm doing what needs to be done for my community because I went through the struggle, because my family's in the struggle, because I have ties to the communities. It's a big fucking difference. Like, let's just be clear on that. You understand?
The only place how I differ with you on that, cuz everything you were saying is correct, but I think regardless of your experience or regardless of whatever your blackness is, we need to stick together because we need each other. Because regardless of what it is, you could be Carlton Banks, you could be the, in the 1% of black folks financially, you're still gonna have the same fucking experience when it comes to who you're talking to, who you're dealing with, as far as government and shit like that. So like that's the only place where I differ. It doesn't matter what your blackness is, because we still got the same experience. The problem is we fucking put each other in silos.
We don't have the same experience. Hold on,
we don't. We don't have the same.
We don't have the same
experience. From my experience,
yeah,
we cousins.
Right.
But doesn't make yours more or less than, you know what I'm trying to say? It's
Yeah.
like we got the experience. Yes, you may have done more shit, but experience more. That's crazy, right? I may experience a certain way that affected me a certain way that you may not. You might not even understand. Don't make it none.
Yeah, no, again, and just so you know, Rashida, we're not debating her blackness. It just has to be said because it's a relevant topic about how you treat your own community and what you've done for your own people. That's just the bottom line. And let me say this to you. It's not, and it's also the world is not ready for a woman president. That's what they're saying to you also again, because Hillary lost and she was white. You understand what I'm saying? Hillary lost and she was white and her husband was president and she's been in politics, et cetera, et cetera. And the world, the United States of America, our world, still didn't vote her in. You understand what I'm saying? So it has a lot to do with the United States itself and the way that they view and treat women, that they're not ready for a woman president. That the world has said, listen, the world hasn't said it once. Let's be clear. The world hasn't said it once. They've said it twice. They've said it twice, right? It's a celebration, bitches. They've said it twice. They said no to a white woman, and now they've said no to a black woman. So once again, like let's not stray away from the conversation of the sexism that goes on, where it's still the good old boys club. It's still a good old boys club. You understand what I'm saying? The disparity against women and the pay difference in women versus men, the treatment of women versus men. You see what just happened with Roe v. Wade overturning like that. You got to understand something. And I don't want to get on my soapbox shit, but just remember something, right? Women in general have never been treated equal since God knows, since men started being men and societies became societies. If you do your research on how women have always been treated, it's always been subpar. And a lot of these cultures, and you know what these cultures are, that the culture of a woman's place in that society is to be seen and not heard. You understand what I'm saying? Like, shut up, have these babies, and I'll do what I need to do, and that's what it is. And this is today. You understand what I'm saying? So again, let's not ignore the fact that the world is just not ready for a woman president. That's what it said twice already. We've had 2 women run for president, what, the last 10 years?
Yeah.
But in 1 decade? Yeah. So think about this. If we take away the 2 women that just ran, if we take away the 2 women that just ran for president in the last decade, and think about how long the presidency itself has existed and how long there's been intelligent, smart, ambitious women in power that were able to run for president. When was the last time you seen a woman actually run for president before these last 2? And there's your answer.
That's your answer, yeah.
And
I think there are super qualified women, especially black women, that can run this country. You know what I'm saying? I just think the world wasn't ready for this one in this time. Yeah. Right now, if you look at everything that's going on, it's back to our original statement. People are starving. Motherfuckers can't eat right now. The jobs are going fast. People are not getting opportunities. Rent is rising. Inflation. You can't afford food. Cost of everything is going up, but your money is going down. And we're seeing us send money in billions of dollars that could be going to our communities, that could be going to our families, going other places. And you are a part of that. You're a part of that. And that hurts. So regardless of what they want to see, especially with the wars going on and all that stuff, we want to be in more debt. We want to send more of this. What are we going to World War III? People are fearful of their lives. And regardless how bad this option is of this guy, of Trump, people feel safe that he's not going to go in and they're not going to play with him. And that means something to a lot of voters, clearly. The immigration thing means a lot to voters, clearly. You know what I'm saying? And that way you can actually say that rhetoric. But once again, I still back to that. I hate the fact that he can do that and we can't. Me and you was to run for presidency. We got all the great intentions for the country. You and I cannot run a similar campaign as Trump, and that shit is bullshit. But that's just the way of the world.
That's the way of the world. And I agree with you, Rashida. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, if y'all was gonna pull a move like that, you should have put motherfucking Michelle in there.
Why would you put Michelle up?
You should have put Michelle in there. Michelle would have rocked these motherfuckers because she's articulate and she, as a first lady, not even a VP, as a first lady. I think the only person that was more visible as a first lady, other than Michelle, might have been Nancy fucking Reagan. Tell me any other first lady that was as visible or more visible than Michelle, probably Nancy Reagan. You understand what I'm saying? Like, she would have had a hell of a better shot than I think Kamala had. Let me see, Chad. Would you want a female president in charge dealing with Putin and North Korea? Let me answer that.
Great one, yes.
Let me answer that for you. Hayes, the best way I can, right? Once again, we are talking about dictators, pretty much dictators who are narcissists, who are in power. They do not respect women. That's what Jarrett was just alluding to, right? They know not to play with Trump because Trump don't give a fuck, and he gonna bug the fuck out. So that's why they put respect on his name. Putin is not respecting no fucking Kamala Harris. I'm telling you right now, he gonna look at her as all kind of fucking jokes, and he gonna do what the fuck he want to do, and he gonna say, "Let's do it." And what's his name? Kim Jong. I think it's Kim Jong Un. Yeah. Kim Jong Un. He's another one. He don't give a fuck. So you understand what I'm saying? As far as me being a military guy and understanding that the president is the commander in chief, my educated answer to you is the world is gonna not respect her the way they respect somebody else, because that's the way the system is put in place. You know what I'm saying? We got another comment that says, hopefully it doesn't discourage another woman from running for president. We will prevail one day. Princess, you are absolutely fucking correct. You are absolutely correct. We will prevail one day, but I'm going to tell you something, Princess. In order for us to prevail, we got to stop falling for the fucking dog and pony show, right? We got to show up, and we got to show up every fucking day. See, that's the problem. That's one of the big. If you look at any of the comments when it came to Kamala, one of the biggest, most repetitious comments was, "Where the fuck you been in the last 4 or 5 years? Nobody seen you. Nobody heard you. No, who are you? Like, yeah, you was vice president, but nobody. Where the fuck you been? Now you want to be seen, and now you want to be heard, and now you want to be with celebrities. So, again, stop the pandering, stop the dog and pony show. If you want to show up for your fucking people, then show up for your people.
Be there.
Show up and be there. And let's do this. Let's take it a step further. Put some fucking policies together. And that was another big issue with the voters and saying, like, what is her actual fucking policy? What's your policy? Put some policies together that's going to actually support the people that you're claiming and the people that you want to support you. You know, I remember when they were saying something about, you know, the money we were sending out and this and that, and they was asking her like, yo, are you going to do anything for black people? And I remember a comment, she said, like, I'm not going to do anything specifically for black people. I'm going to do something for all people. But then when it was talking like reparations for Jewish people and all this other shit, you was down for that 100. That shit bugs me the fuck out. But then your husband is Jewish. Your husband is Jewish. You didn't marry black. I'm just saying, like, not saying you have to, again, like, you can't, this shit is not.
That all matters.
This
shit matters in the eyes of the voters.
This shit is not black and white. I'm not saying, you know, you can't find love outside your race, but I'm just saying it's where there's smoke, there's fire. It's just too many fucking coincidences where you didn't show up for the black vote. The black people. You didn't put in policy specifically for black people. And then when you look at it, well, you didn't marry black either. So you black, but you married a Jewish person. And then when you support the Jews and support Israel, and you don't support your own people, you can't say that's a fucking coincidence. Because then at your husband and go, well, is he financially stable, and what is he doing, and what is he involved in?
What do you know about our experience?
Exactly.
What do you know about that?
Exactly.
Like, I just feel like, look, I love that we support each other. I love all of that, but also just don't like the fact that it was too much identity politics with this, right?
It was.
Too much. Oh, and I know a lot of black folk that I know got turned off with that shit. Even though we still showed up and showed out, for a lot of people got turned off. I can't say how I feel, or I got to vote a particular way because I am this, right? Oh, I'm just going to vote for her because she's a sorority and this and the third. Like, yes, we want to see her. We want to see a black woman win, but what if it's just not her?
Yeah.
What if it's just not her? We could have done way better. We could have groomed people. There was people like Cory Booker. There was plenty of black women that are qualified in the Senate, in the House right now that we could have been grooming, that we could have been branding, that we could have put that money towards, that we did not. And it felt like it was thrust upon us because let's keep it all the way funky. They didn't want to give his queen a shot before Sleepy Joe got his ass cooked in that debate. Until he got cooked in that debate, and the American people was like, yo, we can't do this. The Democratic Party was in an uproar because we can't have this guy vote for 4 years because Trump is going to smoke him.
Yep.
What are we going to do? Yo, let's put Kamala there. Let's get some energy around the party. Let's get on these Zoom calls. Let's get on that shit. The problem with the Zoom call should have been happening 3 years ago. Listening to the community. Yo, what's going on, black women? What do y'all need? What's really happening while I am in office so I can get your continued support? The problem is they keep on doing shit right in front of our faces, and just to get their desired act, and they don't do shit on the back end. Because if she would have became president, I would have wanted us to hold her accountable. And same way we're gonna hold Donald Trump accountable. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but here's the thing with that, and we have some more comments. So Fatima said, amen. Women will never be treated equal. She works twice as hard, and that's a fact. Fatima, I'm not gonna argue with you at all. You understand what I'm saying? You got a double negative against you. Not only are you a woman, you're a black woman. They say, and they the running, it's like a running joke with them right now. Is like the only person treated in America worse than the black man is the black woman. You understand what I'm saying? So I agree with you 110%. It all comes down to action. We talked about this on the show the other day. We talked about what if one day we picked a day out the year and every black or brown person, ethnic person walked off the job site. We talked about this in the last episode. What would that do, right? And I said it has to be more than that. So we walk off the job site and we just have one day without color in the workforce to show them what that does, right? Yep. Okay, but it has to be more to that. So this is what I'm saying when I say that it has to be more than that. If we want our women to be treated equal, it starts with us. Fuck getting to the higher level. Let's talk about just in our communities, how we treat our women in our communities and what the men allow and what other women allow, how they are treated within the community. So you can't expect the powers that be, the good old boys club, to put more respect on women than we're showing that we're putting respect on our own women within our own fucking communities.
Wait, let me just add on. How about the respect that you put on yourselves?
Yeah. That's
Let's
a fact.
keep it all the way real too, man. Like what bro just put. Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, Glorilla twerking on stage at rallies, like stuff like that. Is that the best that we have to offer?
It is embarrassing.
Is that the best that we have? We know that, black women. But guess what? We also want equality. We want you to be able to be free. We want you to be able to do what you want to do, right? But what images are we going to be portraying to the masses? That all we can do is talk fast and shake our asses, get mad and have babies and do this and do that. And that's all we fucking good for, and spending a whole lot of money on luxury items that we can't afford. That's the culture. Is that the image that we trying to do? Come on, man. Like I miss the days. I want variety in our black women. You know what I'm saying? That are in that level and on that fucking big masses, getting the brand authority, the impressions on, like, that's fucking classy, showing their shit. That's why Michelle would have been perfect. Black family, all American, they had the story, they had the brand, they had the message, they had the slogan, they had everything. This was not that. And it's hard to cultivate that in 100 days. And we've had people that have been on those Zoom calls come on the show and give us feedback that there was nothing in those conversations that talked about policy. It was just like, hey, just help me, do this, put me in there, give me this money, put me in here, and I'm going to show you guys, because we got to beat him.
Yeah. So let's talk about that too. Once again, we talk about a representation. So what you're saying is there's no other successful women in sports or in music that could have went up there and gave us a better representation of what our culture represents. This is what we're talking about, right? Again, this is a campaign, which means you have a campaign manager, which means you have people that run the campaign that have to okay and reach out to these people to say this is the message. And you have how many fucking meetings on these things, meetings after meetings after meetings. So somebody had to okay and agree to having this representation put forward. So again, that says a lot about what they think about is gonna appeal to us as a community. And they said ass shaking and celebrityism and not successful black women that are classy and articulate and run businesses is the message. That was clear as day. It was clear as day.
No, and Sigura said, why is there so many expectations on her but none of him? No, we agree with you. He could be lawless, she has to be flawless. We know that. That's just the black experience overall, right? But at the end of the day, what the American people are saying, what they care about right now is money. They feel like they can get more money with him right now and they can provide it and give for their family. So they're going to get away with all that rhetoric shit because they feel like he could get the job done. And at this point, when life is life, and that's all that people care about, Queen.
Yo, mad people kept talking about STEMI checks. Yo, I swear.
Everybody.
Yo, let me tell you something. I've had so many conversations.
Come on.
Where people was like, yo, he gave us the STEMI. He gave us the STEMI. Yo, they was so caught up in just some type of influx of money coming back to them where they were able to do whatever the fuck they wanted to do. And let's be clear.
Yeah.
There was a big statistic, and I don't know the numbers on it, but they were saying like most people blew that fucking STEMI money anyway. It wasn't invested. It wasn't invested. Most people didn't use the STEMI. I mean, it wasn't a lot of money anyway, but they're saying, give us something. The message was give us something. And they're just feeling like the Democratic Party and the candidates are not doing nothing for the people. I think, You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think it boiled down to that simple.
I think
People
it
getting
boils
double
down
their unemployment check for weeks during that COVID shit. I knew people that were probably making $300 a week that were getting $1,200 a week. I'm sitting at working 12, 13 hours. I'm like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a lot of shit. Imagine if that money wasn't flowing at that time. It would have been crazy for a lot of people. So I'm not saying he's right. I'm not saying he's the best candidate. I'm just saying what's proven. What I've seen is that they've given money that could have gone to us, and we've also given her money that also could have went to us, and now that money is nowhere.
So, and when we talk about holding people accountable, right? Again, let's talk about accountability. Right?
Yeah.
Again, like I said, like let's talk urban society where a lot of black and brown people not only live but were raised and their families still reside. If you have a felony conviction, just one, most city jobs, these stable jobs that a lot of you guys have, post office, police, fire, city jobs where you get paid from the city. Your check says the city of New York or the city of whatever. You get one felony conviction and it damn near shuts those doors, period. Done. You can't get those jobs. Let's talk about where most of us was raised. We call them the projects, but in New York City, it's the New York City Housing Authority, NYCHA, right? That's what it is, right? You get a felony conviction or whatever the case, most of those felony convictions, you can't even be put on a lease in these neighborhoods to get an apartment and things of that nature. And this is low income and this is poverty level. So once again, when we talk about holding people accountable, let's talk about the world holding him accountable. And they told you that they didn't give a fuck. No. How can you possibly not be able to get a city job? How can you possibly not be able to be put on a lease or anything like that with one felony? And this dude got 30 something. I don't give a fuck. He got too many to count and he's able to run and successfully win the presidency. So I can't get a city job. I can't provide for my family with a stable job or career, whatever you want to call it, whatever you decide to make it. I can't get in low income housing as far as being put on a lease, either applying directly or through succession because your family lived there, right? And they're trying to pass it down to you, whatever. But the highest job in the nation, a person with 100 times those felonies is able to take that position and run the country. That is one hell of a fucking statement.
Well, we got to hold them accountable. Now that you're there and you can do that, we should be able to too, right? Yeah, and that's what we should be outraged at. How do we utilize this to make sure we get what we need in our communities? That's the real, right? It should be no more on a job app. You can't go into any sector in tech, any of this shit. You have to put, have you gotten a felony? And statistics show if you was to put that, your chances exponentially increase by 70 to 80%
of not getting the job.
Not getting the job.
And if they found out that you lied, they can fire you. That's grounds for termination. And I know a lot of people, and I personally know a lot of people that had jobs that lied and didn't tell them that they had felonies. And when the company found out, they fired them. What does that say? Where's the see, this is what I'm saying. Like, where's the second chance for the average person? Where's the second chance for the average person? That's the question that you got to be asking yourself. Where's the second chance for the average person, not the super wealthy? But again, this goes to show you. And again, let's talk about, like, yeah, Trump's a politician now, but before that, he's a businessman. He had absolutely no experience. He was never an alderman. He was never a councilman. He never came up, once again, from the ground up, doing and being within the community and doing for the community. He just had a bunch of money. He had a bunch of connections, and it shows you what the world values. And the world values money and power. It values money and power.
The capitalist society. That's where we live in. That's where we live. It's capitalist society. Money runs the world. We should know this, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of his convictions, just for the people that are listening that don't know, a lot of the things that Trump got impeached for was abuse of power while he was the president, saying that you knew you wasn't supposed to do that. And he was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do it anyway, including when he left the presidency the first time, taking top secret documents from the fucking presidency office and stuff like that to Mar-a-Lago and da-da-da, where he know he wasn't supposed to be removing that, and did it anyway. And not only did it, but had them shits laying around, and it was like coffee table talk. Yo, you believe this? Look at this shit. Read this shit. Like, shit is crazy. This shit. What are you talking about?
Crazy.
What are you talking about?
That's what also appeals to people. That's the crazy shit. That's what also appeals to a lot of people. The fact that you ain't got to be a politician. Because some people, guess what? Yo, a lot of people, a lot of Americans, what they showed yesterday, are tired of the same old bullshit. the same old talk, the same old promise, the same old this, when you're fucked up and you feel like no one's listening to you. So you want to see somebody who's going to bogart their way into do something different, show you something different. And a lot of people they already voted for that, man. But I definitely think we got to hold people accountable, man, because I think if he can do it, we should be able to do it. But the truth is, and reality is, it won't be like that, y'all, until we fucking put our shit together and stick together.
So Hayes said Biden took documents too. He absolutely did. Let me tell you something, Hayes. Again, this is not a fucking. Here's the problem. Again, here's the problem, man. Like with great power comes great responsibility, man. You're supposed to walk a certain line when you're given a certain title and you have a certain amount of power. It just is what it is, man. But it's what Cuzzo keeps saying. It's about accountability. You understand what I'm saying? Once a motherfucker gets to a certain level, it's like we're not holding them accountable. We keep making excuses for their actions. But guess what? They're holding us accountable. Look at all the fucking laws that was instituted and stuff that caused a lot of us young black and brown people to get arrested and end up going to jail and stuff like that. That means they're holding us accountable because they're creating these new laws and redoing these new laws every single day. You know why? Because once again, capitalism, the more motherfuckers in jail, the more free labor you get. The more free labor you get, these because jails are private institutions that are fucking funded and traded on. Jails are traded on the stock market, bro. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? Like, that shit is on the stock market that where you can invest in prisons. Like, Michael Jordan got money in prisons. Like, let's be clear. That nigga got money in prison. So it's like, what are we talking about?
The presidency is on FanDuel.
Right.
On FanDuel. Aiden Rose put $1 million ticket on him.
Right.
$1 million ticket on Trump. Got 900,000 back.
Right.
Like, even that. I'm like, how the hell can you do that?
1.9.
That shouldn't even be allowed. I don't even know how we allow that shit. You betting on the presidency, man. Like, shit couldn't be swayed when we talk about money in capitalist society. But
the question is now, again, so let's talk accountability real quick. Let's talk accountability. Like, what are people willing to do? And I'm not being funny, but we're going to challenge y'all. Like, what are you fucking willing to do other than just have this debate? Are you willing to get out there and fucking, you understand what I'm saying? Beat some doors down and make some phone calls and fucking call your city representatives and your state representatives and be like, yo, what the fuck is the game plan coming up? Because now he got 4 years. Okay, he can't be reelected, but now he got 4 years to enact a lot of policies. And let's take it past the presidency. What about the House? What about the Senate? You lost all of that. You lost all of that. You lost every fuck. The Democrats lost across the fucking board. You didn't just lose the presidency. You lost the House. You lost the Senate. You lost everything across the board. Across the board. So even if even if technically you would have won the presidency, you still lost the House. And you still lost the Senate. So now, what policies could she really have put in place to do anything when the House and the Senate are both in the opposing party's favor?
He's going to be able to expedite whatever he wants. He's got a full, full Republican House and Senate. He'll be able to enact laws. He's going to be able to enact change that people like Obama couldn't because it was a divided House and Senate. And this is what it is. And you have to look, the Democratic Party has to look at that shit and say, how the fuck did we let this happen? You have to reboot, regroup, look at everything you did internally, look at the amount of money that you guys spent on a campaign, where the money went, and at the end of the day, you got to put boots on the ground. People are tired of hearing the bullshit.
I think the heads of state should all get fucking fired. See, that's what happens when you're a leader. You got to fall on the sword. See, nobody want to fall on the sword. This is what I'm talking about. Hey, so when we talk about leadership, right, and we talk about military shit, this is the part where you know I get passionate about it. Leaders lead from the fucking front, not from the back. You can't lead from the fucking back. You got to lead from the front. So all the heads of state that was involved in putting this Democratic thing together, and we lost all the way around the board, you should lose your fucking job. Plain and simple, because you have an inability, and you've shown inability to get the fucking job done. So if you can't get the job done, get the fuck out the way, give that seat up, or have that seat forcefully taken from you, and we have to put people in there that can get the job done. Other than that, the hamster wheel.
I don't even know if they wanted to get the job done based on the execution. I'm keeping it real. I don't know if they wanted to get the job done based on the execution, bro. They did not believe in Kamala to begin with. They used her to get into the office and thought Biden was going to do 8 successful years in the seat, and did not groom her well enough, did not brand her well enough. She'd been on these interviews. She'd have been talking to people. We'd have been seeing her with the Oprah stuff and all that. Like do that now. Tell us what you're doing behind the curtains. What things have you got enacted, right? She was a few tying votes on a lot of different policies that weren't good, such as the sending the money out. You know what I'm saying? So people can do their research and look at that. And I just want us as Black people to be free thought, free will, man. We need to work with each other. We need to help each other out. And we need to be doing this shit. If we could fucking spend $3 billion in 100 days, but we can't help a Black business. We can't put $2, $3 up a piece to make sure we got a fund for shit like this so we can get the person that we want. So now if we had the money, we tell you who the fuck we want, not you tell us who we get.
That's it.
Come on, man.
And so now we talking change. So Al's making a lot of good points saying, like, are they actually going to take the felony requirement off the applications and this and this and that? And the answer probably, and again, it would shock me, but I'm going to say right now, Al, the answer is fuck no. You know why? Because once again, it's about power. The less amount of jobs, especially high-paying jobs that we get, leaves a gap and a vacancy open for them and their families to get the job and their peoples to get the job. You got to understand that. This is a blatant race war. You understand what I'm saying? And they're doing everything within their fucking power and everything within their ability to keep us under their thumb. And that's the bottom fucking line. You understand? That's the bottom line. We was talking about it yesterday about making things easy. So people was asking me, how do I do this and how do I do that and how do I do this? And I was like, yo, listen, I don't gatekeep. You want to learn how to do something? If I know how to do it, I'm gonna lay out the formula for you to do it, the steps you got to take. And when I was laying it out, they was like, damn, that's a lot. And I said, they make it to be a lot. You know why? Because statistically and mathematically, it shows the harder you make something, the more people that might show interest are going to drop off and not finish. So if something's easy and something's just being handed out, then you're going to get almost 100% of people to take something free and be a handout. Put in one step, that 100 becomes like 95. Put in two, et cetera, et cetera. The more steps and the harder you make it, it shows the seriousness of a person to achieve something. And that's exactly what the fuck they're doing. They're making it so extremely difficult for us to survive and do anything in this country that most people are just giving up, because it's a lot easier to be ignorant. See, it's a lot easier to do ignorant shit than it is to do the hard work. It's easy to go out and rob and steal it. It's easy because, nigga, let's go get some money. It's a quick action. You make a decision, you go out and do it. But to constantly get up every day and work towards something and earn something and educate yourself and maybe get some schooling or some knowledge or learning, that's the hard shit, the repetition of doing it every single day.
Even when you don't want to.
There it is.
Yeah.
Big difference. It's a big
difference. Also,
difference.
just to highlight Hayes, the tone of the conversation is if something terrible happened. He was the better pick. The country made the decision. I think Trump would definitely be a better than her running the country. Look, regardless, it's not like there's something bad happened, bro. I'm just pointing out the obvious is that it's just they can do something. That's left to be seen whether it's going to happen in the next 4 years, right? At this point, I have no dog in the race, but I just want shit to be equal. We just pointing shit out that could have been done better on that side to give a better fighting chance, bro. The people spoke. It is what it is. Don't matter how the fuck we feel. You know what I'm trying to say? It is what it is. And at the end of the day, I feel like most people, I just want to make sure I can provide for my family. I want to make sure that people who are not fucking native to our country are getting more benefits and more opportunities and resources than I am. And I want to make sure my kids have those same resources. Simple and plain. Simple and plain, bro. And make sure it's safe and all that other thing, right? And then we can get into the deeper conversation about equality and all that other stuff, man. I want it to be fair, but it's not.
Well, I mean, you know, to Hayes' point, look, Hayes, the way you should vote anyway, and this is just based on basic politics, is you vote for the candidate that best represents your bottom line.
That's it.
Your bottom line, right? So Hayes, if you're a businessman and this and that, and you feel like candidate A represents your bottom line and is going to give you better benefits and better opportunities for you as a person and you as your family, then that's who the fuck you vote for, person A. If you feel like person B, whoever person B is going to do that, then that's who you vote for. That's technically the way it should be. You understand? And that's technically the reason why it's such a big fight over the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, because the Republican party represents the capitalism, the capitalistic society, and the people that are wealthy and are doing well. And they feel like if I'm getting off my ass and busting my ass and doing these things every single day, showing up, fighting every single day, why the fuck should I just give my money away to people that are fucking lazy and not doing it? That's the biggest argument. And the Democratic Party is in the reverse. It's saying, you know, people deserve this and people deserve that, but they're way more lenient. And that's the biggest argument. That's the biggest fucking argument. And most successful people, business-wise, entrepreneurial, whatever the case may be, they're gonna vote Trump. It is what it is. They're gonna vote Republican because the Republican Party and what their general message is more geared towards business. That's it.
And who they gonna think is the person who was the businessman before he got in office, and the one that they saw get money. Even if you on the lower, even if you're on the bottom of the ground, you know what I'm saying? You knew when Trump was in office, shit was fucked up with COVID, but you was making some sort of money. And I hear that from a lot of young brothers and a lot of young sisters that were the waitresses and the this, and they were like, holy shit, how am I going to survive? And they were doing better off than when they had the job, when they got furloughed. They were taken care of, and people don't forget shit like that. I just want us once again to be free-willed, free thought, man. We need to save ourselves. Ain't nobody coming to fucking save us. That's the
magic trick. And Al said it. Al was like, she should have never been VP. Well, Al, you know what that was. That was to help Biden get in. You understand? Let's call a spade, Al. You're absolutely right. She should have never been the fucking VP to fucking begin with. But again, what they did was they tugged on the hearts and the minds and the emotional, you know, strings of black and brown people. And they said, okay, we had a black president with a phenomenal black first lady. If we put a black VP, because Sleepy Joe was not the fucking answer. We knew Sleepy Joe wasn't the fucking answer. And it worked. But this time America was like, nah, guess what? The bait and switch ain't gonna work on this time. You know what I'm saying? Now you want to put her as a front runner. We didn't want her as the second. See, that's what America said. America was like, what did you? Let me tell you something. If she was, and again, the VP's job is to support the president. We know that. But let's not take away from the fact that the VP still has their own voice. You understand what I'm saying? The VP has the ability to do a lot of shit on their own. It's not like the fucking president's gonna be like, I'm firing you from the VP. You understand what I'm saying? If we don't get along or some shit like that. No, you understand? So again, a lot of people were saying, yes, she was the VP, but what the fuck did she really do as the VP?
Yeah.
And with the same energy and the same conviction and the same everything that you put into this campaign about making yourself known and trying to get out, you know, that you're so for the people, you should have been doing that shit as the VP. Once again, if you should have been doing it as the VP because that was your job as a VP to make sure that you could have been the best VP for the people, especially when you knew that Sleepy Joe wasn't the fucking answer.
Grooming yourself. Grooming yourself.
Thank you.
Especially if we help you get in. A lot of people do. Those battleground states that Trump won yesterday, a lot of those went blue last year because they wanted to see Kamala be in the office. They wanted to give it a shot. First VP woman across the board. White women were voting for her too. They wanted to see a woman in office. It was a big thing, right? But then when you got in office, we did not hear a motherfucking thing. We didn't hear nothing. Not no good publicity, bad publicity. I didn't hear shit. It was just crickets. You did not speak to us directly, and you're so part of the culture. Now I don't want to hear about it with 100 days left that you fucking, you know, cooking your collard greens in your bathtub. I don't give a fuck. Like, just keeping it real. I don't give a fuck about that. Why are you even telling me that?
Right.
Why are you telling me that? You know what I'm saying? So that's the big thing right there, man. So I just feel like it was a lot of pandering to the black people. I want to see a black woman in office, similar to how when Jesse Jackson ran back in the 80s. Sometimes it's just not the right candidate. We didn't put him in office and we weren't going crazy. We didn't say, oh, yes, all the black people got to vote this way. No, man, people going to do what's best for their families, man. They're going to do what's best, man. I'm hoping for all Americans, I'm hoping Donald Trump comes through, changes shit up, and hopefully it benefits and impacts us in a good way. 4 years, the Democrats could reboot, get somebody else in office. If it's her, cool, will rock. Hopefully she has a better delivery, better message at that point. But I would love to see her boots on the ground now. I can't wait to see her follow up from this.
Well, she's already started wrong, because let's talk about leading by example, right? You came out there and you did all this fucking pandering and you know, I'm black and I support us and this and this and that. And when you knew you was going to lose, you didn't even have the fucking integrity to come out and talk to the people that was right there in your fucking face supporting you. So let's talk about right off the back. Right off the back, once again, you're starting fucking wrong. You're starting wrong, and you're showing your true fucking card right there. You're showing, fuck what everybody else did. This is what I'm talking about leading from the front. I don't give a fuck if your campaign manager was like, nah, it's not a good idea, don't do it. You should have been like, these are my people. These are the people I asked to show up for me, show out for me, vote for me, but I'm not going to show up for them. That was one hell of a statement. And don't think that people aren't paying attention. See, that's the problem. They think that we're fucking stupid. And for a lot of the extent, we're showing them that we are as a culture. Because instead of us, again, holding people accountable, we keep letting them do the stupid shit. You understand what I'm saying?
Shout out to Rakisha on LinkedIn too. She said, when has the VP ever been held to task? I wish people would be completely honest about why they voted the way they did. I respect the honest racists every time, although I clocked you without your honesty.
See, there it is. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
I get it. She hasn't been held to task. Most VPs that we don't ever look at track record. Yes, that goes back to the statement of black women and black people in general have to be 10 times as good. We know that. We're going to be under the microscope. And that for that particular reason alone, she should have even been more involved with us. Show us, because we need you like you need us. And all it's going to do is actually just create a divide. You know what I mean? We're already divided as a motherfucking culture. Look at all the content is out there. The men doing this, the 50-50, all that shit. Black women hate black men hate black women. It's all that shit. That's what they want from us. Straight up and down, man. But I would have loved for her to be more involved and show what it is. Show that she actually just gave a fuck. And I'm just not gonna, me personally, I'm not just gonna put somebody in power just because they're black, man. Straight up. I'm willing to go on that hill. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm not for either party. I'm for my people. Nigga, I'll be the Black Panther Party, nigga. That's what I'll be. I'm for that. You know what I mean? I ain't for anything else but our people. And I
agree with you. I don't believe that just because somebody's black, they deserve to be in office. Again, what respect are we putting on the presidency? Is the presidency itself becoming a fucking joke? Is the job now a fucking joke, and it's not being held as serious as it needs to be? Because once again, if it was, then it would be, people would deal with it differently. You understand what I'm saying? And we would honor it and go about putting people in office that we truly feel have America's best interest at heart, instead of just doing what we've been doing. But again, I don't know, man. It's a difficult conversation to have.
Tough one.
It's a difficult conversation to have, but the world has spoken yet again. That's all I can say. The world has spoken yet again. You had the ability to vote, whether you voted or not, right? Was your choice. Who you voted for was your choice. But the United States in general spoke and said, we rather A than B. That's what they said. Yeah. That's what they said, bro. You understand what I'm saying? They said, we rather A than B. And again, it wasn't even close.
It wasn't even one of those we could fight for the recount drinks.
That's a fact.
It wasn't even that. It's just
that's a fact. Shit. It wasn't even close. This shit wasn't even close. You know what I mean? I don't know, man.
Yeah, man. Just once again, I know for me personally, bro, like, yes, Trump won, all Americans, you know what I'm saying? I want all of us, I want our country to do good. That's it. I want to see our country in the best spot. I want to see my people doing financially well. I want to see my people happy. I want us more together, man. However we can make that shit happen, we need to be boots on the ground, and we need to hold everybody fucking accountable. I'm tired of us getting the short end of the stick all the fucking time. I know me personally. That's how I feel. So black women, definitely hold your head. I know this was a tough loss. I see a lot of black women going crazy today. But again, at the end of the day, no one's going to save her. She ain't. He ain't. What are we going to do for each other to get each other where we need to be, man?
And Al, I stated that statement earlier in the podcast.
Yeah.
I told you, again, we're not talking about, let's be clear, man. Like, I don't give a fuck, because I went through this shit, and I can say, like, I've been through this shit. Like, being black is one thing, genetically. Being black and having the black experience
Completely different.
It's completely fucking different. You understand what I'm saying? And I agree. You know what I'm saying? The Howard, them kids at Howard, man, they was out there and they put on a show. And, you know, again, like they see, this is what I'm talking about. Like they could have been doing anything else with their time. They could have been doing anything else with their time. And they were out there in support of showing solidarity, showing support, and the least. This is what I'm talking about. Here's the fundamental shit. How can you tackle world problems? How can you tackle fucking world economics and world this and world that when you can't even step outside your fucking campaign office and acknowledge the people once again with boots on the ground that showed up for you in real fucking time?
Yep.
That is one hell of a statement. And I'm with my cousin. Like, I'm not just putting somebody in office just because you're black, man. You got to show me that, you know, you got to have some type of experience and you deserve this shit, because at the end of the day, I put you in there and you don't do nothing. It's still a slap in the face, and we end up in a worse place than we were before you took office. So, yeah, I mean, that's just the answer to that, man. We got to do fucking better. This is America saying, y'all want this? Y'all got to do better. That's what America is saying. Y'all got to do better than what the fuck. If that was your best shot, we not falling for it. That's what America said. If that was your best shot, sorry, that's not good enough. That's what America said.
America said. That's what America said.
Verbatim. If that was your best shot and you want a woman and you want a black woman and she's your best shot, nah, we ain't buying it. We ain't jacking it.
And she was a decent shot, man, but she was put in a failing spot.
Yeah, I don't
losing spot. It could have been other. I think she's qualified. Let me just say that. She's qualified. She's a black woman that's qualified. I would love to see a black woman, but the American people said not that one.
I mean,
that's real. Maybe not now.
What's the qualifications of being a president? We talking age qualification? What are we talking? Like, if you actually bring up the qualification, you don't even have to do that. But you don't have to.
Trump showed that shit.
Thank you. So once again, we got to be careful when we say like a person is qualified, because what are we talking? The legal qualifications of running for president, age and this and that, and what are we talking? You understand what I'm saying? Like, what is qualified? You see what I'm saying? Like, we got to be careful.
Qualified
because
is what we decide.
Thank you. Right. Well, other than the standard policies of what's put in place to say, well, you at least have to have this, right?
You need this bare minimum, and you got to know this and da. You got to know this amount of law. But he's showing that you didn't have to.
Let me see something.
And, and a big message on this shit is the minds of the people cannot be bought, man. The minds and hearts of the people. If you don't do nothing for the people, then shit like this happens, man. Shit like this happens. And it's, unfortunately, the last 2-3 years, shit has been crazy for a lot of people, and people ain't having it no more. People ain't having it. So that's just what it is, man.
Well, let me just read off a couple. So I'm pretty sure it's a little bit more, but based on the Constitution itself, the U.S. Constitution states that the president must be a natural born citizen of the United States.
Yeah.
You must be at least 35 years old and have been raised in the United States for a minimum of 14 years. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know, man. You know what I mean? So we're talking citizenship. We're talking a certain age, which I would attribute to them considering a certain level of maturity. And they're talking about citizenship to the country of which you want to run. After that, what is it? You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, after that, what is it? So if that's the minimum qualifications, then shit, almost every senator, alderman, you know what I mean? Almost everybody's qualified past a certain point. You was born here, you passed 35, and come on.
Shit's nasty, bro.
Yeah, so
nasty, man. So, you know,
good luck.
Hope for the best. Yeah, I mean, hope for the best, man. But, you know, definitely, man, shit was crazy. America, man. This is they said the last season finale of America. Shit was real. Oh man, but I just hope everybody's in good spirits, man. We're gonna see what's gonna happen in the next 4 years. I was gonna talk about the Young Thug shit and all that, but I was like, we could say that for another time. We might say that for the Patreon.
I mean, listen, man.
Nothing to really talk about on that.
No, I mean, again, we can just touch bases on it real quick. Once again, where there's smoke, there's fire, bro. You got charged federally under a RICO, and God knows how many of your co-defendants took plea deals. So once again, a motherfucker ain't taking a plea deal if they're totally innocent and blah, 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 blah. And these motherfuckers was taking deals for football numbers, 14, 20, and they're taking deals because they know if they blow trial, they're going away for life. So they're like, I'd rather take this 14 and this 20. But again, where there's smoke, there's fire, man. So, okay, Young Thug is home. But if anybody was following that trial or whatever the case, that shit was a mockery, especially with the Woody dude. I couldn't even watch that shit after a certain point in time like that. This dude got immunity and went up there and just made a complete mockery of the fucking. The shit was just. I couldn't even watch that shit past a certain point, bro. You understand? The shit was it was like a mockery. You understand what I'm saying? But again, when we talk about understanding the justice system and understanding what's going on, Young Thug took a deal. He took a deal for, I believe it's like 15 years probation with a 20 piece on the back end.
20 piece probation on the back end.
First of all, that's insane.
Yeah.
He took a 15-year, 20-piece deal. That's insane. Meaning, anything. If anybody's ever been on probation.
Come on, man. You beat curfew. You break curfew by 10, 20 minutes. What if the PO, the probation officer, just had a bad fucking day? 20 years of not having a bad day, just wanting to violate you. And then you're around the culture. You have to be out. You have to be outside. You have to be around certain people. You got to do certain things to be around their features. Guess what? You want to record a song with this person? He's got his crew. Somebody in this crew has a felony.
That's
so
a fact.
it's so many different things they could charge you from. And what it told me is that he was in a position where he had to. Nobody's going to accept that deal unless, look, shit is getting tight. I'm tired of this shit. It's getting dragged out. My family may need the money. This may not be coming in. Royalties not covering my overhead the way I thought it would. I still got these lawyer bills. It's a lot, especially when you're not generating no income for 3 years.
But not only
that lifestyle.
But not only that, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
If you're on trial with co-defendants and they plead out, the lawyer is allowed to bring that shit in front of the jury and say, let's be clear. He's telling you he's not guilty. We're saying he's the head of the fucking organization. It's no different than the Casanova joint. When I told you Casanova was going to take a fucking wild ass deal, and everybody like Cass is coming home, like, okay, all right, man, just be, we just got to understand that some people are just fucking ignorant and uneducated, and it just really shows for that in conversation where it's like, okay, go, I dare you go in front of a jury. That's not your peers anyway, but go in front of a jury and have 10 co-defendants and 8 of them took deals. And not just deals that are sending them away from fucking 10, 15, and 20 fucking years. Yeah. And you're the head of the organization.
You see that through, we talking life.
And 8 of them are guilty, and they all take orders from you, and you had no understanding or no knowledge of, get the fuck out of here. Like, after a certain amount of them copping out, you have to take the deal. And remember, Woody got fucking immunity to point the finger, so he's pointing the finger at you anyway. Whether he tried to backtrack or not, they could say, what you think we gave him immunity for? Because he knows come on, what are we talking about? Yeah. And under those deals, once again, learn your fucking law. Under conspiracy, they don't have to find you guilty of doing an action. They only have to find you guilty of having knowledge of the action or talking about the action or even plotting to do the action. Yeah. That's conspiracy. So if me and Maz talked about robbing the bank right now, and we talked about it, and I didn't go through with it, but him and Hayes went and robbed the bank, and the feds came to get me and said, did you talk about robbing A and B National Bank on November 6th, 2024. They might not have robbed the bank till fucking 2030.
Yeah.
And 6 years ago, they can prove that I had the conversation. I'm guilty of conspiracy. I'll get more time than Maz got for robbing the fucking bank. Maz might get a 7 to 12 federal for robbing the bank. I might get 20 for the conspiracy of it. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I mean,
you have to do.
I mean, you know, I mean, like you said, I mean, I think it's a, I don't know what I would have done, but I think it's a very, to say it's a tight line to walk is an understatement.
Hell yeah.
You're an entertainer, first of all, that gets a lot of your money from touring. So every single time you're going to leave the state, you have to ask permission. Every single time you want to leave the country, you have to ask permission because your PO is going to control all of that now. Like I said, like
20 years.
If anybody that you're around for the next 15 joints that is a convicted felon that might have a gun on them or a weapon on them, if they get in trouble and they're around you, they tie that shit to you and you can get violated, go in, do the 15 piece or whatever's left on the parole, and then get hit with the 20 piece.
Oh my goodness.
Shit.
Just
and I want to do my research on this because if I'm not mistaken, and I want to do my research on it, but if I'm not mistaken, there was dudes that took the deal initially. Because there was dudes that took a plea deal initially early in the case.
Yeah.
And went home and got violated already. And now they're doing the whole rest of their joint in prison. I was looking at an article or reading some shit the other day of a dude, same thing, was on parole, something, and he violated the parole, something, they gave him 5 joints right off the bat. And then his lawyer's like, oh, can he turn himself in at a later date? No, the judge is like, no. When you came here today, you knew what you did. You knew what the terms and the conditions for parole was, and you did what you did anyway. Remand him and put him in cuffs. You know what it was when you came here.
Yeah.
Now you want me to let you go home again and get your, come on, like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, once again, like, lawyers ain't cheap, especially his fucking lawyer team.
Definitely ain't cheap.
You know what I'm saying? Lawyers ain't cheap. And lawyers ain't cheap. And you know, paying that kind of a lawyer team and things of that nature for that
type of a high
extended
profile
amount of time, right? You know what I mean? It is what it is. But again, if you want to get a little deeper, let's look at the culture behind what's powering him. You understand? Look at the label he signed to, and look at the heads of state that run those labels, and then make a correlation to now Lil Durk about to go through a trial, and look at the correlation to who controls him. And then, you understand
they
what I'm saying?
policies out there that does happen. They make more money.
Thank you, bro. You understand? So
with some rights and all that.
Where there's smoke, there's fucking fire, bro. Where there's smoke, there's fire. So once again,
to our young brothers, I was gonna say to our young brothers and young queens, especially if you're in that position, man. I just cannot see us working that fucking hard, dedicating and sacrificing years of your life, getting your family out the hood to make a decision like that, man. Like, especially in the Dirk situation, you got the world by the palm, man. You saving so many people. The people around you, these motherfuckers that came up from your block, that have never been on a plane, that have never been to other states, that have never seen the stadiums that you've been performing, and never seen the people. They're sitting, congregating and networking, doing all that stuff. Your mom is in a different place, your family's in a different place, and then you're gonna do all of that and not even be smart about it to make sure you dot your T's, cross your T's, dot your I's. Like, that don't make no sense, man. We gotta be smart. I hate seeing our fucking young brothers go through that shit. I hate seeing our young brothers go through that shit and give away generational wealth for some motherfucking bullshit. Wow.
Well, again, like, no disrespect to them, but it's deeper than them, because at the end of the day, the people that are signing them and the people that are releasing their music know exactly what they're involved in.
And sign up for those reasons.
Come on, man.
I totally get it, but it's up to you.
Come on, man.
You still got a chance and a choice. You still got a motherfucking chance and a choice. You got a chance and a choice to change the narrative, do something else. But guess what? You got to feed into that bullshit. You have to, or you're not you. You're not you. For them to be using credit cards on a company name, are you like little shit? Like, you shitting me? How you wiggle out of that? You can't.
At the end of the day, it falls into the realm of like, do you get to a point where you think that you're getting enough money and you rubbing elbows with these white people that you think once again that you can play their game, right? That you think that you're not going to be held accountable because they're not going to be fucking held accountable. You understand? Like I don't know. You think because you got a couple fans and you getting some pussy and you understand what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Like you got some groupies and you got a couple cars and a couple fucking chains that shit is going to exclude you from being held fucking accountable. And then when your ass get held accountable, you got that look on your face like you seen a fucking ghost. What are you talking about? Like, you know what the fuck you were doing. Yeah, you know what you were doing. You just thought that you had enough money and enough clout and you was connected to enough people that you wouldn't get caught, or if you got caught, it wouldn't be so bad. But you're quickly being reminded that this ain't your fucking game. It's our game. You're playing our game, and you're trying to play by our rules, which we're not going to allow.
Yeah.
You're going to play by the rules we give you to play by. But again, you know what I'm saying? It falls into the realm of look who's signing them. Look who's signing them. Look who's promoting that music, knowing what it's doing to the culture. Anyway, it's a win-win for the fucking people that are benefiting from the business side of it.
Yeah.
You understand? Plain and simple. Now you're in court. Now you're in this. Now your music goes up. Now this goes up, and you don't benefit from none of that.
Basically.
You don't benefit from none of that shit.
It's crazy, bro. Shit. I think we good on that, man. I really want to hear from some of y'all, man, about the election stuff, man. But you know what I'm saying? I sent the link out. We also know it's a different time from what we usually do. It's 12 o'clock. People at work can't really power like that. So we totally get it. But thank you guys for the comments, the engagement, man. We love hearing what you guys' voices and what you guys think. And yo, man, it's on to the next one, man. Tomorrow we got Moshe Gibbs, global marketing partner for Microsoft, pulling up. She's a black queen, really doing a lot of things, amazing things in the industry. We're going to celebrate her. And then we got a great episodes coming up in November, December, man. We're going to finish off strong on the quest to 100. And we appreciate y'all, man. For everybody out there, man, keep your head up. We're going to make it happen, man. Nobody coming to save us. Stack up, stock up. You know what I'm saying?
Let me say this before we get out of here, man. Like, if this year is about to come to an end, people. So I want y'all to just hear me out, man. Like, if you haven't seen this year that they are not playing with us, right? They are not playing with us, right? With the dismantling that they've already done to the black man. If you can't see that they're not playing with us and you got to start making better and more smart decisions, then you deserve whatever the fuck you get. And I'm being honest with you, because at a certain point in time, you know what the fuck you're doing. Like, again, like we talk about accountability, it has to start with us. It has to start with us, right? Message. You know what the fuck you're doing. Right, wrong, and different. You know what the fuck you're doing. So if you want better, you got to start fucking doing better. All that ignorant shit is good for the hood and it's good for the secret handshakes, and that's all the fuck is good for. Other than that, it's not good for shit. You understand what I'm saying? And you're gonna be held accountable for your actions. And that's what the world has shown us this year more than ever. We're gonna fucking hold you accountable. So once again, and Little Durk follow behind Thug being locked up, but Thug ain't the first rapper to be locked. There's so many rappers and all that's been locked up. So once again, if you go ahead and be fucking stupid and keep talking about all the illegal shit that you're doing on your fucking music, you understand? Because, oh, it's an art and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to be held accountable. They can't tell if it's real or if it's not. You telling on yourself and shit like that. After you've already seen other people get held accountable, then ain't nobody going to feel no fucking sympathy when it's your turn to fucking face judgment. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Don't ask for no fucking sympathy. Don't ask for nobody to come rally to your fucking cause and scream, free the homie or free this or free that. You know you're doing stupid shit, and then you know you're doing stupid shit, and then you have the audacity to broadcast the stupid shit that you're doing, thinking that the legal system is your fucking friend because you got a couple dollars and they're not going to hold you accountable. What you're finding out and what they've shown us this year is they're going to hold your ass accountable. So once again, if you want better, you got to fucking do better. As a culture, we got to start doing better, and that starts with holding each other accountable and you holding yourself, the person in the mirror, accountable. And that's all I gotta say, man.
That's a fact, man. With that, man, we're gonna let y'all go, man. Y'all have a great rest of the motherfucking day, man. We're gonna see y'all. We love y'all. Thank you for everybody who tuned in. Thank y'all for pulling up, sharing with us. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna see y'all tomorrow for another epic episode, and we back to another day, man. You know what I mean? Head up, chin up, chest out. You know how we do. Let's make it happen.
What you know about me? Seen it all, heard it all. Oh, what you know about me? I done it all, just one.